The ETFs, it's interesting. I've been in finance for over 40 years, and to see the coordination, the multiple launch of a product simultaneously like this is highly unusual. I've never seen it quite before. So I think there is an agenda going on. From 15 different financial institutions.
Right.
Or all have an ETF in the works. Usually it's, first mover advantage and somebody comes up with an ETF and they launched it and they captured the blind share of the market and they have that product. And that's typically the way products are launched. But here they're saying to Wall Street, we want you to coordinate a product launch simultaneously amongst all of you financial institutions.
Bitcoin maximalist Max Keiser provides an insightful update on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market, delving into the concealed agendas surrounding BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. Keiser asserts that BlackRock is poised to play a pivotal role in 2024, surpassing the influence of any other institutional investor. Despite maintaining a bullish stance on Bitcoin's price, Keiser highlights the unprecedented nature of the current situation, emphasizing its divergence from historical patterns. Keiser draws attention to a significant issue with the imminent approval of BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF application by the SEC, underscoring that investors may not be adequately prepared for the consequences. Bitcoin's recent surge, nearing $46,200 and marking a gain of over $2,400 in the last 30 days, sets the stage for Keiser's discussion on the global collapse of the fiat money system. He emphasizes that, as the world's fiat currencies falter, the US dollar will be the last to fall. In this context, Keiser anticipates Bitcoin demonstrating its true value as a form of money unaffected by inflation or continuous government printing. In a recent interview, Max Keiser shares his Bitcoin prediction and expounds on BlackRock's strategic moves, foreseeing an inevitable collapse triggered by their game plan. The discussion provides valuable insights into the unfolding dynamics of the cryptocurrency market and its broader implications on the global financial landscape.
Does this set up a situation where the public is only allowed to own ETFs, which are a derivative of Bitcoin and cash settled, similar to gold? If gold gets into, GLD gets into trouble, they have the ability to settle in cash. They don't have to send you gold, they can send you fiat money. It defeats the purpose. So an ETF, Bitcoin that's settled in cash it will bring in a lot of capital. Simultaneously, they could say, well, self-custody of Bitcoin could be banned. So now you have a situation where only the government can own actual Bitcoin, but the public can only own a derivative. The thing about money is that it is a coded way to promote freedom. And so Bitcoin is perfect money, and therefore it satisfies something in us as human beings. So as long as humans still want to be human, Bitcoin will be on that vector going away from the state. And the state always ends up coalescing and becoming powerful to the extent of snuffing out freedoms.
Yeah.
And therefore, this battle against money versus the state has been lost by the state. They have lost. They are dead. The only thing left now is to bury them. They're the walking dead. Remember, Bitcoin separates money from state. And that's as accurate, that's true as saying that gold is element number 79 on the periodic table. It's a statement of fact.
Yeah.
And now the state is trying to snatch it back. But the vector that Bitcoin is on, it has achieved escape velocity. And no state will be able to try to bring it back in the fold. It's gone. They messed up. It's gone. But yeah, you're right. Everyone is kind of in the same boat. So the stuff that we're reporting on would relate to everybody, has that understanding, and they want to know why they live in this fiat money system, why it's so crummy. The purchasing power of fiat money all over the world continues to decline. And people are starting to feel the inflation, even at the mothership country in the U.S. Inflation is really starting to rage.
Yeah.
And we see the wealth and income gap spread all over the world, and we see poverty rates increasing. That's a result of the fiat money system. So the tricks are not really working, and we see it on the ground. There's a lot more social unrest, and I think that's what we would attribute to the fiat money system and the central banking system more than any political aspect. This is really the result of all this money printing. It came after Occupy Wall Street. Remember, Occupy Wall Street was really the first time activists targeted Wall Street and targeted the money centers as being the source of problems. And that meme, that idea has grown ever since. People starting to understand that it's the bankers, it's the money, it's the central bankers, it's the Ron Paul ideas that have been talked about for many years. Looting essentially becomes a way of life, and it becomes normalized. And so, or I would say, I've said in interviews before, where if you took fraud out of the American system, there would be virtually no economy left. It's an economy based on fraud, built on fraud, and without the fraud, there would be very little left. It's a mechanism to encourage fraud.
Embracing an unwavering enthusiasm for the crypto space, Keiser expresses a strong conviction that substantial growth is on the horizon. He confidently predicts an imminent surge, pointing to the proactive involvement of BlackRock and several other crypto giants in the market. Keiser assures that a long-anticipated upswing is in the making, building anticipation as we approach the highly awaited 2024 halving event for Bitcoin.
Only if by some workaround, by some sly mechanism, would we have a money that was separate from the state, could we ever really see if this stuff would work. And at the time, people said, yeah, of course, that'll never happen. But in 2009, it did happen. Money was created that separates money from state. It's totally decentralized money. And that's the key. There's before Bitcoin and after Bitcoin. We know that now, definitively, after 300 years of experimentation, the central bank fiat money system it failed. It didn't work.
I also think that what they're going to do is they know for a fact they can't outlaw Bitcoin. They know that because they know that it's genuinely decentralized and that there is no CEO and there is nobody to arrest. And it's global. So it's more difficult to do like a gold confiscation sort of scheme like they did in the 1930s. So I think what they're going to do is they present this whole like, we're going to ban everything and we're going to arrest you all. And then they'll say like, okay, what we're really going to ban is any coin with a CEO or a marketing budget and a marketing department. Those are easy to criminalize, right? Those, because there is somebody to contact. So they'll do those first. And they clearly, however, Gary Gensler has said it, all the chairman of the CFTC, all the officials have, they're pretty good at like signaling to you with their words. Like if you actually listen to the stuff they say, they've told you years ago that Bitcoin is a commodity, everything else is a security. You have perfect money that is Bitcoin, and yet there are also like 1 million coins, let's call them that.
Yeah.
And the reason why those exist is because of that fiat mentality. That is the majority of the population will always be like that. They will take the airdrops. They will take the student debt forgiveness. They will take those free checks. They will do all that stuff, and that's what they like, and that keeps them in that system, and that keeps that system afloat. And so I'm not surprised that it exists because, look, I just saw a headline that Joe Biden was considering a help to buy sort of scheme. Now, this is a scheme that will help 500,000 Americans buy their home. Well, Max and I were living in London back after the first financial crisis when, of course, Satoshi in the Genesis block put Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. Well, around that same time, they introduced a help to buy scheme soon after that. And it was called Help to Buy, and the taxpayer would fund for a lucky few individuals 20% of their deposit for their properties because the property prices were too high because of all the money printing from QE to bail out the banks. So, that's the system. That's the system that most people like.
Challenging conventional macroeconomic metrics, Keiser asserts that these measures, such as labor statistics and inflation figures, are often manipulated to construct specific narratives rather than accurately depicting the true state of the economy. In response, Bitcoin emerges as an alternative, offering detachment from the manipulations prevalent in the traditional economic sphere. Keiser also emphasizes that established corporations like Apple, Amazon, and Google are poised to leverage their long-standing relationships to swiftly acquire significant amounts of Bitcoin through a spot ETF, bypassing the usual cumbersome procurement processes. This disparity underscores the transformative potential of cryptocurrencies, disrupting traditional financial institutions. In the realm of traditional finance, Michael Saylor underscores the importance of embracing digital currencies, recognizing the rapidly changing economic landscape. He urges investors to leverage Bitcoin's potential as a means to secure a more prosperous financial future. The interview with Max Keiser prompts reflection on these insights and his predictions for Bitcoin leading into 2024. Share your thoughts on Keiser's perspectives and Bitcoin's trajectory in the comments section below. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.